Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So, good morning if you are watching this video in the morning, and good evening if you are watching this video in the evening. So, it's been a long that I have uploaded a video in my YouTube channel. So, the last video I have explained you about the Selenium architecture. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain you about the Playwright architecture, how it is going to communicate with the browsers. So before going to the real topic, so I need to thank you everyone that for the support that you have given for my two videos itself. So it's been a it's been a great response from you guys, so that I will get more motivation to explain the videos and to to give more videos and to explain you about the more topics in the coming sessions. So now, without getting late, let's deep dive into the topic of Playwright architecture. So now let me share my screen so that I can able to tell you the visually how it will be going to communicate, how the things are going to be done in Playwright architecture. See, yeah. So are you able to see my screen, right? As I already told you, about the today's topic is playwright architecture. Playwright architecture. So before going to this playwright architecture, so I'm going to tell you something about playwright. Then what is playwright? So playwright is an automation testing tool, guys, which is similar to the Selenium. So we are having so many automation testing tools like Selenium, QTP, Playwright, like that. So Playwright is also a automation testing tool which was developed by the Microsoft people. So which was developed by the Microsoft people. So for reliable automation, for reliable web application automations, right? So, in this playwright, in our lecture, what does architecture means? I already told you about this playwright. It's an automation testing tool which was developed by the people of Microsoft. Then what is architecture? So let's say we are having test scripts, right? As a part of our as a part of our test engineer journey, we will write so many test cases, right? So we are going to sorry. Yes. So we are going to convert those test cases into automation test scripts by using different types of tools and by using different types of languages that you already know. So a test scripts is called as, so we are going to have the manual test cases. If you want to introduce the automation testing by using some tools with programming languages, you need to convert these manual test cases into test scripts. The test scripts are nothing but it's the test cases only, but it are the these will be written in a code format, like by using different types of programming languages like JavaScript and some different types of tools like Playwright. Right. So this is about test scripts that you already know. Now, if I'm writing a test script and executing it on my running the test case, so it is going to be communicate with my browser, right? How it's going to communicate with my browser? What is really happening internally between my playwright test script and the browser? That will tells you about this term called architecture. That we will call it as architecture. Now, without getting late, let me start this Playwright architecture session. So, the test engineers, are going to write test scripts by using different types of languages, by using different types of tools. Let's say I'm writing my test script, right? So this is my test script, which is having some 100 lines of code. This is my test script. So how I have written this test script? By using tool called Playwright and by using the programming language called JavaScript or TypeScript. I can write it in any other languages. That doesn't matter for me. I can write it in any other tool also. It is Selenium or Cucumber or whatever it may be. As it is our Playwright architecture, so I'm taking the Playwright and with the Playwright, I'm going to take the JavaScript or TypeScript, which is very hottest combination. Playwright with JavaScript or TypeScript. Now, once after writing the test scripts, so here we are going to have for each and every programming languages, we are going to have a separate client libraries. So we are going to have Playwright client libraries for every language. So for each and every language, let's say for JavaScript, for TypeScript, for Java, for C Sharp. So whatever the languages that are supported by the Playwright, for each and every language, there is going to have a separate client library. So in this client library only, we are going to write our test cases and manage the things. So these client libraries are used to write our test scripts and used to run our test scripts also. So these are the Playwright client libraries. Now, what these Playwright client libraries are going to do in the sense, these Playwright client libraries will convert our test script commands to some protocol type of messages. Some protocol type of messages, example like JSON. Okay. So these Playwright client libraries are going to convert our test script commands into some messages which we can say nothing but JSON format. So in 90% of cases, we are the the Playwright client libraries are going to convert those into the JSON protocol messages. In other 10 percentage, so it will be depend on the which architecture that we are using and how the tools are going to be work. So it will based on that thing. Now, wait, yes. Now these protocol messages are given to the Playwright server. So we are going to have our Playwright server here. Let's say I am having my Playwright server. Yes. So this is Playwright server, which is called node.js. Node.js is my Playwright server. So this Playwright server is going to take all the protocol messages that were given by the Playwright client libraries. How? How? In the sense, the Playwright client libraries, what I'm telling exactly is the Playwright client libraries are going to give all these converted protocol messages to Playwright server through a channel called through a connection. We can say the better word is connection through a connection called WebSocket connection. So this connection is a very powerful connection, which is a bidirectional connection. So this we will call it as also as handshake connection or handshake mechanism, we can say. So I'm going to take one more video about how this WebSocket connection is going to get built and how this will work between the Playwright client library and the Playwright server. So I'm going to tell you in a separate video. And before that, I have already told you that I have already took a lecture of explain you the things about the Selenium architecture, how it is going to be internally works. So if you haven't watched that video, please go and watch that video. I will provide the same in my description also. So please like that video, share that video. It will be very useful for your friends also. Right. Now, so let's get back to the topic. So our Playwright server received all the commands that were given that we were given. Now this Playwright server is going to communicate with my browser engines directly. So I'm telling browser engines directly. How these are going to communicate with the browser engines in the sense through its native browser protocols. Let's say browser protocols. Let's say I'm communicating with the Chromium engine, so it will take Chrome Dev protocols (CDP). Let's say I'm communicating with my Firefox, it will do with Firefox remote protocol. If say I'm communicating with the WebKit engine, so it will say WebKit remote protocol. I will tell you deeply about how these browser engines are also going to be done in our next lecture. So probably I will do it in in our next video itself. So two things I have given pending for you. The one thing is how the WebSocket connection is going to be built and how why it is very important, and the second thing is about the browsers and what are these browsers and what is this CDP, FRP, and WRP. So I'm going to discuss those things. Now, these browser engines are going to give all the commands to the browsers where we can execute, where our test scripts will get executed. This much drama is uh, getting done whenever we are writing a test script and convert and running it on our IDE, and we can see only the browser actions. So the only two steps are we can see here, this is the one and this is the one. So in middle, this much drama is going to be done. So this is how probably how the playwright architecture will works. Let me tell you briefly. So the we are going to write the test scripts. So I'm having a real diagram. So very simple diagram where I will explain for one more time. Have you understood this? Great. So if you are having any doubts, please comment those things. So I will try to reply it as early as possible. Now to explain the things more clearly, so for one more time, I'm having I have prepared a very good real image that will help for you. So let me go to that actually. Yeah. So you can see here, right? You can able to see, right? So as I already told you that the test engineers, the test engineers write the automation scripts using programming languages such as JavaScript, TypeScript, Java, Python, and C#. So the same thing. So we are going to write the test scripts, the step that I have told here. Right. Next. For each and every programming language, Playwright provide dedicated client libraries, which helps us to write and execute the automation code. So where we are writing the code, we are writing the code in Playwright libraries itself, Playwright client libraries itself, and where we are executing the code, we are executing the code with Playwright client libraries itself. Now, so once we have executed a code in our Playwright client libraries, what the Playwright client libraries are going to do, what it is going to be do, in the sense the Playwright client libraries, these Playwright client libraries internally converts our automation commands into protocol-based messages format. So not exactly JSON file. So it is. So I have told you that 90% of the protocols are in JSON formats. The physical files are not going to generate that's what it is telling here. So JSON files stored physically, not exactly the JSON files stored physically, but it will be converted into the JSON format. As you can see here. So it is a JSON format thing. The Playwright client libraries will convert all our commands to the JSON file formatted things now. So how these JSON file, what going to be next, and how these are communicating to the browser in a sense. So sorry, yeah, the Playwright client libraries communicates with the Playwright server here. So this point I have already explained. Playwright client libraries for each and every language, Playwright is going to have their own client library, and these own client libraries will convert all our commands to the protocol messages which are JSONs. And now these Playwright client libraries will communicate with the Playwright server and give all the protocol messages through a channel called WebSocket connection, through a common connection called as WebSocket connection. So that's what we are telling here. The Playwright client communicates with the Playwright driver or server using an efficient communication channel. In most cases, this communication happens through the inter-processor communication or WebSocket connections. So this is what, guys. The connection will be happened between client and the server as WebSocket connection, and all the JSON formatted, all the protocol messages will be converted from client to server. Right? Next. So the next thing is, so now the so once after all the connections reach the Playwright server, the Playwright server directly communicates with the engines such as Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit using their native browser protocols. So every browser is going to have their own protocols. Let's say Chrome will have this Chrome Dev protocols, as I already told you. Firefox is going to have Firefox remote protocols, and WebKit is having WebKit remote protocols. So using these native browser protocols, using the browser protocols, the Playwright is going to communicate with its with the browser engines, we can say, right? So the engine, the browser performs the requested actions such as click, scroll, and navigation, and whatever the things that we have given in our commands or the code. And the next step, so once after the execution, so here, so I already told you, so the thing browser engines, all the protocols will be given to the browser engines by through some protocols like Chrome driver protocol, Firefox remote protocol, and WebKit remote protocol. This browser engine will execute all the actions on the browser. So once after execution got completed, so the same flow will get back here, and the test scripts will get appear here. So that's what here we are taking. After the execution, the browser sends the response or the status back to the Playwright server, and then the result is written to the automation script. So we can see the results. Now, what we can do with the results? We can do anything with the results, what that we are getting. So what the test engineers basically will do based on the results, they are going to raise the bugs, they are going to add some conditions, they are going to report the bugs, and they are going to close the bugs, whatever they can, whatever they want. So for what purpose they have written the test scripts. So that they can do. So once after getting the results, see, after the execution, the browser sends the response or status back to the parent server. Now the results is written to the automation scripts and can be used for the assertions, validations, logs, and reporting. So we can use the results for this kind of things. So this is, guys, this is about how the playwright is going to communicate with the browsers internally with the written code. Now, so this is pretty much simple about our lecture, today's lecture. So it was playwright architecture. So I hope you will understand the entire topic clearly. So if you don't understand, please rewatch it again. You will get the better understanding about this. And if you are thinking it was very slow, you can watch this video by putting in speed, by increasing the speed also in 1.25x or 1.5x. It will be very beneficial for you, and it will be time saving for you also. So you can watch the video in little time with more understandable way. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. So please like, share to your friends, whoever needs this, so that they will be beneficial with this video. And subscribe to my channel so you will get all the lectures that are coming in SDET. So you can become an SDET with my lectures with easily, so that in that deep way I'm telling you guys. Yeah, fine. Thank you.